Today is December the 28th, 2025, and across the vast expanse of Russia, a great silence has fallen. The land is in the grip of its most formidable season, winter. This is not just a time of cold, it is a complete transformation of the world where every living thing must adapt or perish. A white tide rolling down from the Arctic Circle has blanketed millions of square kilometers of taiga forest and open tundra in a thick layer of snow. Temperatures plummet to unimaginable depths, sometimes reaching a staggering -70 degrees Celsius. The air itself seems to crystallize, every breath a visible cloud that vanishes almost as soon as it appears. For the wildlife that calls this place home, this season is the ultimate test of survival. Each animal, from the smallest shrew to the mighty elk, faces a daily battle against the elements. It is a period defined by scarcity, by prolonged darkness, and by a cold so profound it can freeze the very air you breathe. The sun barely rises, casting a pale blue twilight that lingers for hours, while the nights stretch endlessly, cloaking the land in deep shadow. The challenges are immense and multifaceted. Blizzards sweep across the land, erasing all traces of movement and forcing animals to hunker down, conserving every ounce of warmth and energy. Food, once abundant, is now buried deep beneath a frozen crust, forcing animals to expend precious energy just to find a single meal. A deer must dig tirelessly through the snow, its breath steaming in the frigid air, searching for the faintest trace of lichen or bark. The deep snow acts like a trap, slowing down large herbivores and making them vulnerable, while also providing a perfect blanket of concealment for predators. Wolves, their coats thick and eyes sharp, move silently through the trees, blending into the monochrome world as they stalk their prey. Blizzards can rage for days, completely reshaping the landscape and making navigation nearly impossible. Paths vanish, scents are lost, and only the most resilient creatures endure. For 6 long months, this icy kingdom will dictate the rules of life and death. The sun's weak rays barely touch the horizon, and the world is painted in shades of blue and white. Every creature, from the smallest vole tunneling beneath the snow to the largest tiger stalking through the forest, must rely on incredible adaptations and clever strategies developed over millennia to see the sunrise of spring once more. In this unforgiving environment, survival is a full-time job. The Arctic fox curls tightly against the wind, its fur a shield against the biting cold, while the snow hare forages ceaselessly, its white coat blending perfectly with the landscape. There are no days off, no moments of rest where an animal is not conserving energy, searching for its next meal, or staying vigilant against those who see it as their next meal. Every heartbeat is a calculation, every step a risk. It is a constant battle against the elements, a daily struggle fought on a grand and dramatic scale. The aurora borealis dances above, casting ghostly colors over the snow, while storms rage below, sculpting the land anew. The landscape itself becomes an adversary. Trees groan under the weight of ice, and snowdrifts swallow familiar trails, turning the forest into a maze of white silence. Rivers freeze solid, forests become silent mazes of white, and the open plains offer no shelter from the relentless biting wind. The only sounds are the distant howls of wolves and the soft crunch of snow under cautious paws. Every action is calculated, every movement has a purpose, because a single mistake can be fatal. A moment's hesitation can mean the difference between life and death. Yet, amidst this brutal reality, there is a profound and stark beauty. The sunrise gleams on frosty branches, and the snow sparkles in the pale light, untouched and pristine. The Russian winter is a showcase of nature's most ingenious solutions to its most extreme problems. Each animal is a marvel of adaptation, a testament to the power of evolution. It is a world where animals have evolved to thrive in conditions that would seem impossible to us. The lynx's thick coat, the owl's silent flight, the reindeer's ability to find food beneath the snow, all are miracles of survival. From the insulating power of a thick fur coat to the complex social structures of a wolf pack, Every aspect of their existence is fine-tuned for endurance. Cooperation, camouflage, and cunning are as vital as strength. In the following sections, we will journey deeper into this frozen world and explore, in vivid detail, the remarkable ways in which Russia's wildlife not only survives its most brutal season, but often triumphs over it. Each day, a story of resilience, adaptation, and the relentless will to live. In the heart of Russia's frozen wilderness, where the mercury plunges to unimaginable lows and the wind howls through endless forests, two legendary predators reign supreme, the Siberian tiger and the grey wolf. The Siberian tiger, or Amur tiger, is the undisputed monarch of the taiga, a solitary phantom moving silently through the snow-laden trees. As the world's largest feline, the Siberian tiger is a living embodiment of resilience and raw power. Alone, it faces the relentless cold, the scarcity of prey, and the vast, unforgiving expanse of its domain. Every step it takes is a testament to its mastery of survival in a land where only the strongest endure. As winter deepens, the tiger undergoes a remarkable transformation. Its body prepares for the onslaught of cold, adapting in ways both visible and hidden. A dense winter coat emerges, each hair long and hollow, trapping precious air to create a barrier against the biting wind. Snowflakes settle on its fur but never melt, so perfect is its insulation. Around its neck, a thick ruff of fur grows like a regal mane, shielding it from the icy gusts that sweep through the forest. Beneath this luxurious coat, a layer of fat, sometimes up to 5 centimeters thick, wraps its belly, a vital shield for its organs against the deep freeze. This fat is not just insulation, it is a reserve, a lifeline for the leanest days when prey is nowhere to be found. Its massive paws, broad and fur-lined, spread its weight across the snow like natural snowshoes. Each step is silent, each movement calculated, as it glides over the drifts with a ghostly grace, leaving only the faintest trace of its passage. But survival here is a daily battle. Hunting in the Russian winter is a test of patience and endurance. The forest is hushed, prey is scarce, and every meal must be earned. The tiger roams vast distances, sometimes more than 1,000 square kilometers, its senses attuned to the faintest sound or scent. Days may pass without a kill, and hunger sharpens its focus. Each male fiercely guards his territory, patrolling the snowy borders, marking trees with scent to warn rivals away. In this frozen kingdom, solitude is both a burden and a shield. The tiger is a master of the ambush. It waits, motionless for hours, muscles coiled, breath barely stirring the air, until the perfect moment arrives. Using the tangled undergrowth and the dappled shadows of the forest, it stalks red deer or wild boar. Its striped coat blends seamlessly with the snow-dusted trunks, rendering it nearly invisible to unsuspecting prey. When the time comes, the tiger explodes from its hiding place, an eruption of muscle and fury. The attack is swift, precise, and deadly, the culmination of hours of patience and years of instinct honed by the Russian winter. In stark contrast to the tiger's solitary existence, the grey wolf thrives through unity. As the snow deepens and the cold intensifies, the wolves gather, forming powerful packs that move as one through the white silence. Smaller family groups merge, swelling into formidable hunting parties, sometimes a dozen strong. In the Russian winter, there is strength in numbers, and the pack is a living, breathing organism, each member playing a vital role. Their social bonds are their greatest weapon. Through nuzzles, playful nips, and subtle glances, they reinforce their hierarchy and unity, forging a team that can overcome even the harshest odds. At the heart of the pack, the alpha pair leads with quiet authority. Every movement, every decision is communicated through body language and instinct, guiding the pack with unspoken commands. Their quarry is often the mighty elk, a creature that dwarfs any single wolf. But together, the pack is relentless, their endurance and teamwork unmatched in the frozen wilds. The hunt is a test of strategy and stamina. The wolves run for miles, their breath steaming in the frigid air, their paws barely making a sound on the snow's crust. Each hunt is a masterclass in coordination. The wolves fan out, reading the landscape and the movements of their prey, communicating with glances and subtle gestures. They probe the herd, searching for weakness, a limp, a hesitation, a moment of fatigue. The wolves are patient, never wasting energy on a fruitless chase. When the weakest is found, the chase begins in earnest. The pack surges forward, a blur of grey and white, relentless and tireless. They take turns at the front, sharing the burden of breaking trail through the deep snow. Their lighter bodies allow them to skim the surface, while the heavy elk sinks and tires. Gradually they encircle their prey, cutting off every escape, wearing it down with relentless pressure and perfect teamwork. The final attack is swift and coordinated, each wolf knowing its role. The pack brings down the elk, a victory born of cooperation and shared hardship. After the hunt, the pack gathers around the fallen elk. The alpha pair feeds first, reinforcing the bonds that hold the group together. In the Russian winter, survival is a story of adaptation, endurance, and the unbreakable spirit of the wild. In the heart of Russia's unforgiving winter, where temperatures can plummet to 70 degrees and the world is locked in ice, the brown bear has mastered a survival strategy as old as the forests themselves. Rather than battle the elements, the bear surrenders to the cold, slipping into a deep, mysterious sleep that will last for months. This is not mere slumber, but hibernation, a profound transformation where the bear's body becomes a marvel of adaptation, conserving every precious calorie as the world outside freezes solid. The journey to this suspended state begins long before the first snow falls. In the golden light of autumn, the bear is driven by an insatiable hunger, a biological imperative known as hyperphagia. Day and night, the bear scours the forest, its senses sharpened, its focus singular, to eat and eat and eat. Berries, nuts, roots, and fish, nothing is overlooked. Every mouthful is transformed into fat, the lifeblood that will sustain the bear through the long, dark months ahead. By the time the first snowflakes drift down, the bear's body is transformed. Beneath its thickening fur, a dense layer of fat, sometimes increasing its weight by nearly half, insulates it from the deadly cold and stores the energy it will need to survive. When the world turns white and silent, the bear seeks out a den, a hidden sanctuary carved into a hillside, nestled beneath tangled roots, or deep within the hollow of a fallen giant. Here, in this secret chamber, the bear will vanish from the world, sealed away from the biting wind and swirling snow. For 5 to 7 months, the bear enters a state of suspended animation, its body slowing to a near standstill as the blizzards rage above. Inside the den, the bear's breathing becomes shallow and slow, each breath a gentle whisper in the darkness. Its heart, which once beat with the rhythm of the forest, now slows to a mere 8 beats per minute, conserving energy with every thump. The bear's body temperature drops, its metabolism nearly halting, as it becomes a living paradox, alive yet almost frozen in time. For months, the bear does not eat, drink, urinate, or defecate. Its body recycles waste, breaking down urea and using it to maintain muscle and organ tissue, a feat unmatched in the animal kingdom. For pregnant females, the den becomes more than a refuge. It is a cradle of new life. In the heart of winter, as the world outside lies silent and still, tiny cubs are born, blind, hairless, and utterly helpless. Weighing less than half a kilogram, these newborns nestle against their mother's warmth, their survival dependent on her body's reserves and the rich, fatty milk she provides. In the darkness, the cubs nurse and grow, their mother rousing just enough to shift, to nuzzle, to ensure they are safe and warm. Though she appears lost in sleep, the mother bear's instincts remain sharp, her body attuned to the faintest whimper or movement from her young. Yet this delicate balance is fraught with danger. If the bear's fat reserves are insufficient, her strength may fail before spring's thaw. A bear that enters hibernation underweight faces a silent struggle, its body forced to ration every last calorie as the cold drags on. Even within the safety of the den, the threat of premature awakening looms. If the bear stirs too soon, its metabolism surges, burning through precious fat reserves at a deadly pace. Restlessness in the den can spell disaster, as the bear's body, primed for months of stillness, is suddenly forced into action with no food to replenish what is lost. Outside, the world remains barren and frozen. A bear awakened too early faces a landscape devoid of sustenance, its survival hanging by a thread. Even the rhythm of the seasons is changing. Warmer winters brought by shifting climates can confuse the bear's ancient instincts, disrupting the delicate timing of hibernation and emergence. Yet, for now, the brown bear endures. Deep within its snowy sanctuary, it waits, body slowed, heart quiet, dreams drifting through the long, frozen night, until the first warmth of spring calls it back to the waking world. In the endless, wind-lashed wilderness of the Russian Arctic, where the horizon blurs into a white infinity, and the air itself seems to freeze, the reindeer emerges as a living testament to survival against all odds. Here, in a world sculpted by blizzards and silence, every breath is a battle and every step is a triumph. These remarkable animals are the tireless nomads of the north, embarking on epic migrations that span hundreds, sometimes over 1,000 kilometers, across the frozen expanse. Their journey is a slow-motion odyssey, a living river of fur and antlers winding through the snow, driven by ancient instincts and the promise of survival. As the Arctic sun dips lower and the cold deepens, the reindeer sense the coming of winter. They abandon the exposed tundra, where the wind scours the land bare, and press southward, seeking the sheltering arms of the boreal forest. Here, the trees offer a fragile barrier against the relentless gales, and the snow lies deep and undisturbed. At the head of these great herds stride the matriarchs, wise weathered females whose memories hold the map of the land. They know the secret paths, the hidden valleys where the snow is thinner and the lichen grows thick. With each step they guide their kin to the ancestral feeding grounds, where the promise of food and shelter lies beneath the snow. Survival here depends on a most unlikely treasure, lichen, often called reindeer moss. This pale, wiry plant clings to rocks and earth, hidden beneath a crust of snow and ice. For the reindeer, it is life itself, a slow-burning fuel that sustains them through the darkest months. To find it, the reindeer rely on a sense of smell so keen it can detect the faintest trace of lichen beneath a thick blanket of snow. With practiced precision, they begin to dig, using a technique known as cratering, their noses sweeping the surface, searching for the telltale scent of food. Their hooves, broad and sharp-edged, are perfectly adapted for this task. With powerful strokes, they break through the wind-packed crust, scraping away the snow to reveal the precious lichen below. Each hoof is a tool, a chisel forged by evolution for the harshest of winters. In summer, these hooves are soft and spongy, perfect for traversing the boggy tundra. But as winter descends, the pads shrink and harden, exposing a sharp rim that bites into ice and snow. This transformation is a marvel of adaptation, allowing the reindeer to move with confidence across the frozen landscape and dig for food where others would starve. Sharing this icy kingdom is another master of survival, the Arctic fox. Small, swift, and endlessly resourceful, the fox is a ghost on the tundra, its presence betrayed only by a flicker of movement or a set of delicate tracks in the snow. The Arctic fox's most celebrated adaptation is its extraordinary winter coat. As the days grow short and the cold intensifies, its fur transforms, becoming a dense, multi-layered shield of pure white. This coat is more than just camouflage. It is a fortress against the cold. The fox becomes nearly invisible, a wraith gliding across the snow, protected by fur so insulating that it does not shiver until the mercury plunges below -70 degrees Celsius. Even as the wind howls and the snow piles high, the Arctic fox curls into a ball, tucking its nose beneath its tail, and simply waits out the storm. Its compact body, short legs, and rounded ears all serve to conserve precious heat, while its bushy tail acts as a scarf, sealing in warmth as it sleeps. In this frozen world, every detail of the fox's body is a testament to adaptation. Its fur-covered paws allow it to move silently over the snow, and its keen senses are always alert for the faintest sound or scent of prey beneath the surface. The Arctic fox is a cunning and opportunistic hunter, forever on the move, forever searching. It stalks the tundra with patience and precision, its eyes scanning for the slightest movement, its ears tuned to the hidden world beneath the snow. Its main quarry, lemmings and voles, live in a secret realm, tunneling through the snow in a world called the Subnivean zone. Here they are safe from most predators, but not from the fox. The fox stands motionless, its body tense, ears swiveling to catch the faintest rustle. It can hear the tiny heartbeats and scurrying feet of rodents far below, mapping their movements with uncanny accuracy. Suddenly, with a burst of energy, the fox launches itself high into the air, arching gracefully before plunging headfirst into the snow. This spectacular pounce is a signature move, perfected by generations of hunters. With pinpoint precision, the fox breaks through the crust, snatching its prey from the hidden tunnels below. In a land where every meal is hard-won, this skill is the difference between life and death. When prey is scarce, the Arctic fox's adaptability shines. It becomes a scavenger, trailing the tracks of larger predators like polar bears, searching for scraps left behind. In this frozen wilderness, nothing is wasted, and every opportunity is seized. Deep within the silent, snow-laden forests of the taiga, where the only sounds are the whisper of wind through ancient pines and the soft sigh of falling snow, moves a predator so elusive it's often called the ghost of the pines. Here, in this frozen cathedral of trees, the Eurasian lynx reigns unseen, its presence revealed only by the faintest tracks pressed into the powdery white. The Eurasian lynx is a solitary hunter, a master of silence and patience, perfectly equipped for a life in the winter wilderness. It glides through the undergrowth, each step calculated, every movement a study in restraint, as it navigates a world where survival depends on remaining invisible. Its beautiful spotted coat is more than just a shield against the cold. It is a cloak of invisibility. The dappled pattern mimics the interplay of shadow and light on the forest floor, allowing the lynx to melt into its surroundings, unseen by both prey and rival predators. The lynx's most distinctive features, those long black tufts crowning its ears, are thought to act like antennae, capturing the faintest rustle of a vole beneath the snow or the distant flutter of a bird's wings. In the hush of the taiga, these tufts give the lynx an almost supernatural awareness of its world, but perhaps its greatest adaptation for winter is its enormous fur-padded paws. These natural snowshoes spread the lynx's weight so evenly that it can move across the deepest drifts without breaking the surface, gliding silently where heavier creatures would flounder and sink. Unlike wolves, who rely on endurance and the strength of the pack, the lynx is a solitary shadow, moving with a ghostly grace through the endless white. It is a master of the ambush, a patient stalker that uses every fallen branch and snow-laden bush as cover. For hours it may wait, motionless, its breath barely stirring the air, eyes fixed on the faintest sign of movement. The lynx's territory is vast, a silent kingdom it patrols with unwavering vigilance. It marks its boundaries with scent, warning other lynx to keep their distance, for in this harsh land competition is fierce and solitude is survival. When it finally spots prey, a snowshoe hare perhaps, or a capercaillie hidden beneath a tangle of branches, the lynx becomes a living shadow. It crouches low, muscles coiled, moving with painstaking slowness, every sense focused on the moment to strike. The attack, when it comes, is a blur of motion, a sudden, explosive leap, a precise lunge through the snow, ending in a swift, silent kill. In the frozen silence, the only witness is the falling snow. This energy-efficient strategy is the lynx's secret to survival. In a world where every calorie is hard-won, it wastes nothing, feeding quickly before retreating to the shelter of the trees, where it rests, hidden from the world. Even more elusive than the lynx is the Amur leopard, a creature so rare that it is almost a legend whispered among the trees. In the rugged forested mountains of the Russian Far East, fewer than 200 of these magnificent cats remain, each one a solitary phantom haunting the snowy wilderness. Like the lynx, the Amur leopard is a master of adaptation. Its coat grows long and luxuriously thick in winter, a golden armor dappled with black rosettes, blending perfectly with the shadows and snow. Its paws, broad and fur-lined, allow it to move effortlessly over the snow, leaving only the faintest trace of its passage, a whisper of a presence in a world of white. The Amur leopard is a creature of the night, a solitary hunter that slips through the darkness like a living shadow. Its senses are razor-sharp, its movements silent, as it stalks roe deer and other prey through the moonlit forest, unseen and unheard. From high rocky outcrops the leopard surveys its domain, eyes scanning the snowy expanse below. It waits, patient and still, for the perfect moment to descend upon its prey from above, a silent force of nature. The life of an Amur leopard in winter is one of profound isolation. It roams alone through a vast fragmented wilderness, each step a journey through silence and shadow, each day a test of endurance and cunning. To find a mate, the leopard must travel immense distances, crossing treacherous ravines and dense forests, braving the cold and the ever-present threat of starvation. Every journey is a gamble, every encounter a rare and precious event. After a successful hunt, the leopard drags its prize high into the branches of a tree, muscles straining as it lifts its kill above the reach of scavengers. Here, in the safety of the canopy, it can feed in peace, the snow swirling silently around it. This clever strategy protects its hard-won meal from opportunists like wolverines or even tigers, ensuring that the leopard's efforts are not in vain. In a world where food is scarce, such ingenuity is the difference between life and death. For the Amur leopard, every successful hunt, every meal protected from the cold and from rivals, is a small but vital victory. In the endless winter of the Russian wilderness, these elusive cats endure, silent, solitary, and supremely adapted to a world where only the most cunning and resilient survive. In the heart of Russia's frozen wilderness, the elk, known as moose in North America, and the red deer stand as silent sentinels against the relentless cold. Their world is transformed each winter into a realm of white silence, where every step is a test of endurance and every breath a cloud in the frigid air. These giants of the taiga are built for survival, but even their impressive adaptations are pushed to the limit as temperatures plunge and snow buries the land. As the snow deepens, the forest floor, once rich with grasses, sedges, and tender shoots, disappears beneath a thick, icy shroud. The elk and red deer must now rely on their instincts and ingenuity to find sustenance. Each day, they roam the silent woods, their breath steaming in the cold, searching for any sign of food beneath the snow. Red deer, natural grazers, use their strong hooves to scrape away the snow, exposing the frozen remnants of last summer's grasses. Their muzzles push into the icy crust, searching for even the smallest blade of green. The effort is slow and exhausting, but every mouthful is precious. When the snow proves too deep or the ground too hard, the red deer turn to the trees. They strip bark from trunks and nibble on dry twigs, their teeth working methodically through the tough fibrous fare. It is a meager diet, lacking the richness of summer, but it is enough to keep them alive through the darkest months. In the depths of winter, red deer and elk gather in herds, drawing close for warmth and protection. their bodies pressed together, sharing what little heat they can muster, while their eyes and ears remain alert for the faintest sign of danger. The herd becomes a living shield, each animal relying on the vigilance of its companions. The elk, a masterful browser, is better suited to the winter's scarcity. With their towering height and long legs, they reach up to the branches that rise above the snow, plucking twigs and buds from willow, aspen, and birch. Their powerful jaws strip bark and snap branches, making the most of what the forest offers. The elk's reach is its greatest asset. While smaller animals struggle to find food, the elk can browse on the tender shoots and buds that remain untouched above the snow. Each meal is hard-won, requiring patience and strength, but it is enough to sustain these giants through the long, cold nights. Yet, even for the elk, the snow is a formidable adversary. Each step through the deep drifts is a battle, their legs sinking with every movement. The energy spent simply moving from one patch of food to another is immense, and every calorie must be carefully conserved. To survive, elk and red deer create intricate networks of trails, narrow runways packed down by countless hooves. These paths wind through the forest, connecting feeding grounds and sheltered glades. By following these familiar routes, the animals save precious energy, moving more easily through the snow's heavy grip. They are keen observers of their environment, seeking out wind-swept ridges and sunlit slopes where the snow is thinner. Here the ground is easier to traverse, and the search for food is less taxing. These microhabitats become vital lifelines in a landscape otherwise locked in ice. But the winter forest is not without peril. Despite their size and strength, elk and red deer are always on guard. Their large, sensitive ears swivel at the slightest sound, and their eyes scan the snowy shadows for movement. In the silence of winter, danger is never far away. The deep snow that slows the elk and red deer gives a deadly advantage to their ancient adversaries, the wolves. Moving in coordinated packs, the wolves glide over the snow's surface, their paws barely breaking through the crust as they track the scent of their quarry. When the chase begins, a healthy elk can lash out with powerful kicks, its sharp hooves a formidable weapon. But in chest-deep snow, even the strongest animal is slowed, its movements heavy and labored. The wolves circle, waiting for exhaustion to set in. The wolves, lighter and more agile, skim across the snowpack, weaving through the trees with practiced ease. Their endurance and teamwork make them relentless hunters, and in the depths of winter, the odds are often in their favor. For the elk and red deer, every encounter is a test of stamina and will. The deep snow saps their strength, and only the most resilient survive the relentless pursuit. The struggle between predator and prey is a stark reminder of the harsh realities of life in the Russian winter. To endure, these animals must balance the constant need for food with the necessity of rest. They spend long hours standing motionless in the snow, conserving energy, their bodies adapted to withstand the cold and hunger. Every movement is measured, every decision a matter of survival. Their massive size is not just for show. Larger bodies retain heat more efficiently, and in the bitter cold, this can mean the difference between life and death. The elk and red deer's bulk is a shield against the elements, a living testament to the power of adaptation. Their winter coats are marvels of natural engineering. Each hair is hollow, trapping air and creating a layer of insulation that keeps the cold at bay. Frost gathers on their fur, but beneath it their bodies remain warm, protected from the icy wind. Through it all, the elk and red deer endure, following ancient trails, seeking shelter in the densest woods, and waiting for the first signs of spring. Their story is one of quiet resilience, a daily struggle against the cold, hunger, and the ever-present threat of predators. In the vast, frozen forests of Russia, their survival is a testament to the strength and adaptability of life itself. In the vast, frozen expanse of the Russian wilderness, where the mercury plunges to unimaginable lows and the wind scours the land with icy ferocity, one animal stands as a symbol of unyielding resilience: the wolverine. This stocky, powerful member of the weasel family is not merely a survivor, it is a master of endurance, shaped by the relentless demands of a world where winter reigns supreme for most of the year. The wolverine's existence is a daily battle against scarcity. It is primarily a scavenger, a specialist in finding sustenance where others see only desolation. With hunger as its constant companion, it roams the snowbound forests and tundra, nose to the wind, searching for the faintest trace of a meal. Its sense of smell is nothing short of extraordinary. Even beneath several meters of dense, hard-packed snow, the wolverine can detect the scent of a carcass, an invisible lifeline buried deep within the frozen earth. When it finds its prize, the wolverine's true power is revealed. With jaws like steel traps and muscles coiled with raw strength, it tears into frozen flesh and shatters bones, extracting every last morsel of nutrition. Even the marrow, locked away within the hardest bones, is not safe from its relentless assault. The wolverine's reputation for ferocity is legendary. In the heart of winter, when food is scarce and competition is fierce, it becomes a creature of pure determination, fearless, unyielding, and utterly unwilling to back down. Despite weighing no more than 30 kilograms, the wolverine will defend its hard-won meal with a courage that borders on reckless. It stands its ground against much larger predators, its body low and tense, eyes blazing with defiance. There are tales whispered on the wind of lone wolverines driving off entire wolf packs, of bears retreating from their kills, unwilling to risk a confrontation with this indomitable spirit. In the Russian winter, where every calorie is a treasure, the wolverine's ferocity is not a luxury. It is a necessity. Each meal is devoured with urgency, the wolverine's growls echoing through the silent forest. It knows that at any moment a larger predator could appear, drawn by the scent of blood. There is no time for hesitation. In this world, timidity is a death sentence. The wolverine's boldness is its shield, its refusal to yield the key to its survival. This relentless drive allows the wolverine to secure meals that would otherwise be lost to the cold or stolen by stronger rivals. It drags heavy chunks of meat through the snow, muscles straining, never pausing until its prize is safe. But brute strength is only part of the story. The wolverine is a strategist, always thinking ahead, always planning for the next storm, the next lean week. It is a master of food caching, using the endless winter as its ally. With careful precision, it buries meat deep in the snow, transforming the frozen landscape into a vast, hidden pantry. When it discovers a large carcass, the wolverine works methodically, tearing it into pieces and transporting them across its immense territory. Each cache is a promise, a lifeline for the days when the world is silent and empty. It hides food in snowdrifts, wedges it into the crevices of rocks, or hoists it high into the branches of trees, out of reach of other scavengers. Every hiding place is chosen with care, a testament to the wolverine's cunning. Throughout the endless winter, the wolverine returns to these secret stores, digging through the snow to reclaim its hidden feasts. These caches are its insurance against starvation, a buffer against the harshest whims of the Russian cold. The wolverine's body is a marvel of adaptation. Its dense, muscular frame is built for power and endurance, every movement a display of raw, efficient energy. Its large, fur-covered feet act as natural snowshoes, distributing its weight so it can glide across the surface of deep snow, undeterred by drifts that would trap lesser creatures. This mobility is vital. The wolverine's territory can stretch for hundreds of square kilometers, and it must travel vast distances to find food, crossing forests, tundra, and frozen rivers with tireless determination. Its thick, oily fur shrugs off frost and snow, providing a barrier against the biting cold. Even in the fiercest blizzards, the wolverine presses on, undaunted. Alone in the endless white, the wolverine is the very embodiment of resilience, a solitary wanderer, thriving where few others dare to tread. Through a blend of brute force, sharp senses, and relentless ingenuity, it carves out a life in the heart of the Russian winter, a living testament to the power of survival against all odds. In the heart of Russia's frozen wilderness, where the wind howls across endless white plains and the mercury plunges to unimaginable lows, a ghostly figure glides silently above the snow. This is the snowy owl, an emblem of Arctic resilience and a master of survival in a world sculpted by ice and shadow. Its plumage, a tapestry of pure white interwoven with delicate dark barring, is more than just beautiful, it is a cloak of invisibility. Against the blinding snow, the owl vanishes, becoming a phantom that both stalks and evades, perfectly adapted to the stark, treeless tundra. Every inch of the snowy owl is engineered for the cold. Beneath its outer feathers lies a dense, insulating layer of down, trapping precious warmth. Even its legs and talons are sheathed in thick feathers, a rare adaptation among birds, shielding it from the biting chill as it perches on the frozen ground or waits out a blizzard. When the owl takes flight, it does so in utter silence. Specialized fringes on its wing feathers break up the air, muffling the sound of each powerful beat. In the stillness of the Arctic night, this silence is its greatest weapon, allowing it to drift unseen and unheard over the tundra. Camouflage and stealth combine, making the snowy owl a formidable predator. It waits, motionless and alert, its golden eyes scanning for the faintest sign of movement beneath the snow. The owl's fate is entwined with the secretive lives of small rodents, lemmings and voles, whose numbers rise and fall in mysterious cycles. In years of abundance, the tundra teems with life, and the snowy owl thrives. In lean years it must roam vast distances, ever searching for its next meal. Perched atop a lonely rock or a gentle rise, the owl becomes a sentinel, its gaze fixed on the snow-blanketed world below. It waits with infinite patience, attuned to the faintest tremor beneath the surface. But it is the owl's hearing that truly sets it apart. Hidden beneath its feathers, its ears are placed asymmetrically, one higher than the other, granting it the uncanny ability to pinpoint the source of even the faintest sound. With a subtle tilt of its head, the owl listens, filtering out the roar of the wind to catch the delicate rustle of a lemming tunneling far below the snow's surface. Even when prey is hidden deep within the snowpack, the owl's acute hearing guides it unerringly to its target, detecting the softest scurry in the labyrinth below. In a flash, the owl launches from its perch, wings spread wide, and plunges talons first into the snow, breaking through the crust to seize its hidden quarry in a single, decisive strike. Yet, while the snowy owl rules the world above, a parallel universe thrives below, a realm known as the Subnivean zone, where life persists in defiance of the cold. The Subnivean zone is a hidden corridor between the frozen earth and the bottom of the snowpack. Here, a layer of trapped air acts as a natural insulator, keeping the temperature just above freezing, even as the world above is locked in ice. This fragile layer is a sanctuary, a buffer against the Arctic's deadly chill. It is here that the true drama of winter survival unfolds, unseen by all but the most patient observer. Beneath the snow, rodents are shielded from the worst of the cold and from the sharp eyes of predators above. Their world is a maze of tunnels, safe, at least for a time, from the dangers that stalk the surface. Here, voles and lemmings remain active throughout the long, dark winter, their tiny bodies generating warmth as they scurry through their snowy passageways. They carve intricate networks of tunnels, connecting nests to hidden food stores, grasses, roots, and bark, gathered before the snow fell. Each tunnel is a lifeline, a testament to their ingenuity and determination. This bustling Subnivean world is the engine of the winter ecosystem, Every movement, every heartbeat beneath the snow sustains a delicate balance of life. Without these tireless rodents, the food web would collapse. The snowy owl, the Arctic fox, the weasel, all depend on the hidden abundance below. These predators, each uniquely adapted to the Arctic's challenges, prowl the snowfields, listening, watching, and waiting for the slightest sign of life beneath the surface. Even in the depths of winter, the cycle of life continues. Lemmings and voles raise their young in the warmth of their snowy burrows, ensuring that when spring returns, the tundra will once again burst with life. In this frozen realm, every creature is a survivor, every adaptation a story of endurance. The snowy owl and the Subnivean world together reveal the astonishing ways life endures, flourishes, and triumphs, even at 70 degrees below zero. The Russian winter is not merely a season, it is a crucible, a relentless test that forges the very essence of life. Here, in a world sculpted by ice and silence, every living creature is called to summon its deepest reserves of strength and ingenuity. The blizzards sweep across the land, erasing all but the most determined tracks. Beneath the endless grey sky, animals must navigate a world where the sun is a rare visitor, and the cold is a constant, biting companion. Each day is a battle for survival, where hunger gnaws and the wind howls. For the lone wanderer, every step through the snow is a gamble, every decision a matter of life or death. The taiga stretches endlessly, its beauty stark and severe. Here the land itself is both a stage and an adversary, demanding respect and adaptation from all who dwell within. Yet within this frozen expanse life endures. The wild inhabitants of Russia's winter are not passive victims. They are architects of survival, each species crafting its own remarkable strategy to outwit the cold. Endurance is not just a trait here, it is the very heartbeat of existence. Animals huddle together, sharing warmth or stand alone, bracing themselves against the storm, embodying the spirit of perseverance. Each face tells a story of cunning, of patience, of the will to survive. The bear, the wolf, the fox, the reindeer, all have carved out their own answers to the riddle of winter. The brown bear, sensing the deepening cold, retreats into the earth. In the darkness of its den, it surrenders to hibernation, its heartbeat slowing, its body living off the fat it so carefully stored. This is not sleep, but a miraculous pause, a triumph of biology over the elements. The Siberian tiger, solitary and regal, prowls the snowbound forest. Its thick fur shields it from the cold, while its silent steps and keen senses make it a master of stealth. In this world of scarcity, it reigns with patience and power, a ghost among the trees. The grey wolf finds strength in unity. The pack moves as one, weaving through the snow, communicating with subtle glances and howls. Together they strategize, encircling prey, their teamwork a testament to the power of cooperation in the face of adversity. The reindeer, guided by ancient instinct, embarks on epic migrations, crossing vast frozen plains in search of lichen buried beneath the snow. The Arctic fox, small but fierce, dons a coat of pure white, vanishing into the landscape as it listens for the faintest rustle beneath the drifts, ready to pounce on hidden prey. Adaptation is the law of this land. Every animal, from the largest to the smallest, is a living blueprint of survival, shaped by countless winters. The elk's hollow hairs trap warmth, the lynx's wide paws act as natural snowshoes, the reindeer's hooves cut through ice, and the bear's fat reserves sustain it. Through months of famine, each adaptation is a story written in flesh and bone. Survival is also a matter of behavior. The wolverine caches food beneath the snow, a hidden pantry for lean times. The Amur leopard waits in ambush, blending into the shadows, while the wolf pack's coordinated chases are a ballet of instinct and intelligence. Above, the snowy owl glides in ghostly silence, its wings adapted for noiseless flight, while below, lemmings create a secret world beneath the snow, tunneling through the Subnivean layer, safe from the worst of the cold and the eyes of predators. In every corner of this frozen kingdom, life endures. The animals stand as living monuments to resilience, their very presence a defiance of the cold's tyranny. Even as the snow falls thick and the wind roars, there is movement. There is grace. Life does not merely survive here, it flourishes, adapting and thriving in ways both subtle and spectacular. These animals are not just survivors, they are masters of their world. With every shake of snow from their fur, every confident stride across the ice, they declare their dominion over winter. They are the embodiment of adaptation and resilience, living proof that the will to survive can overcome even the harshest odds. Across the endless tundra, their stories are etched in the snow, tales of courage, ingenuity, and the unbreakable spirit of the wild. In Russia's winter, life is not conquered by the cold, it is defined by it, and by Gaptus. Deep within the dense, snow-laden forests of eastern Russia, a shadow drifts between the ancient trunks, small, elusive, and almost mythical. This is the Siberian musk deer, a creature as mysterious as the winter itself. Unlike the mighty elk or the regal tiger, the musk deer moves in silence, its delicate hooves barely breaking the crust of the snow. With every cautious step, it melts into the tapestry of shadows and frost, a ghost in its own kingdom. Its survival depends on secrecy and adaptation. The musk deer's body is compact and agile, perfectly designed to navigate tangled undergrowth and steep, icy slopes. Its hind legs, longer than its front, allow for swift, bounding escapes when danger lurks. But it is not speed that grants the musk deer its edge, it's stealth. Remaining motionless for hours, it can disappear entirely, trusting in its mottled brown-grey coat to blend with the winter forest floor. As the cold intensifies and the snow deepens, food becomes scarce. The musk deer's diet shifts with the season. It nibbles on lichens and tender shoots, scraping away snow with its sharp hooves to uncover hidden nourishment. Each meal is a victory, a small triumph against the relentless hunger of winter. When branches are bare and the wind howls through the trees, the musk deer turns to the bark of shrubs and low-hanging twigs, its teeth adapted to strip away what little sustenance remains. But the Siberian musk deer faces threats beyond the cold and hunger. Silent predators, like the lynx and the Amur leopard, prowl these same forests, their eyes keened for any sign of movement. The deer's oversized canine teeth, striking saber-like, are not weapons for battle but tools for display, used in silent duels between rival males. In these frozen woods, survival is as much about cunning as it is about strength. Beneath the pale light of a winter moon, the musk deer ventures out, senses sharpened, every muscle tense. The forest is alive with danger and opportunity, and every night is a test of vigilance. Yet, even as the cold bites deep, the musk deer endures, embodying the quiet resilience that defines Russia's wild. Its presence is a whispered secret, shared only by the wind and the snow, another testament to the countless ways life adapts, survives, and persists in the heart of winter. In the silent, snow-cloaked forests of Siberia, where the cold weaves through the trees like a living thing, a slender figure slips between the shadows. This is the Sable, a creature of legend and luxury, whose dark, silky fur has sparked tales and whispers for centuries. But beneath its prized coat lies a spirit shaped not by opulence, but by the relentless demands of survival in one of the world's harshest winters. The Sable's world is a labyrinth of snow-draped branches and tangled roots. It prefers the dense ancient taiga, where fallen logs and thick undergrowth offer shelter from biting winds and prying eyes. Here, the Sable is both hunter and hunted, moving with fluid grace through tunnels beneath the snow, its small, nimble paws barely leaving a trace. When the days grow short and the nights stretch long, the Sable's senses sharpen. Its keen nose sniffs out the faintest scent of prey, voles, mice, and the occasional bird, all hidden beneath the white silence. With a sudden burst of energy, the Sable dives head first into the powder, tunneling and twisting with astonishing speed. It listens motionless, for the rustle of life beneath the snow's surface then strikes with unerring precision. Yet the sable is not merely a predator, it is a master of adaptation. Its luxurious fur, so coveted by the outside world, is its shield against the unforgiving cold. Each hair is dense and fine, trapping warmth close to its slender body. In harshest weather, the sable curls into a ball beneath a fallen log or inside a hollow tree, conserving its energy, letting the heartbeat of the forest lull it into a wary rest. Food is scarce and hunger is a constant companion. The sable's diet shifts with the seasons, and in winter it is both opportunist and strategist. It caches surplus food in secret larders, hidden crevices beneath the snow or in the crook of a tree, returning to these stores when the hunt proves fruitless. Every morsel is precious, every meal a triumph over the odds. Predators lurk in this frozen realm, the silent lynx, the cunning fox. The sable's best defense is its agility and intimate knowledge of the forest's secret paths. It moves mostly at dawn and dusk, when the light is soft and shadows are deep, trusting its instincts to guide it through the maze of danger. As the wind sighs through the pines and the snowflakes drift in endless spirals, the sable endures. Its journey is one of quiet resilience, a dance with the cold and the dark, a testament to the beauty and toughness of life in Russia's winter wild. In every silent leap, every cautious breath, the sable writes its own story, a story told only by the footprints it leaves behind, quickly swallowed by the snow. Deep within the hushed pine forests of Russia, where the snow lies thick and undisturbed, a secretive giant stirs among the shadows. This is the Capercaillie, a bird as elusive as it is magnificent, whose presence is betrayed only by the soft brush of wings against frosted needles and the delicate tracks pressed into the powdery white. As winter tightens its grip, the Capercaillie becomes a master of concealment. Cloaked in a mantle of dark, mottled feathers, it blends seamlessly with the ancient trunks and low branches, a living shadow in a monochrome world. Unlike smaller birds that flee south, the Capercaillie remains, bound to the forest by instinct and design. Here, it must outwit the cold, the hunger, and the ever-watchful eyes of predators. When snow blankets the forest floor, the Capercaillie's world shifts upward. It takes to the trees, perching high in the dense crowns of pine and spruce. There, it finds sustenance in the tough, resinous needles, a diet that few creatures can stomach. Its powerful gizzard grinds the fibrous fare, extracting precious nutrients from what others would find inedible. The Capercaillie's digestive system even adapts, growing heavier and more muscular in winter to handle the change. Yet, the cold is relentless and the nights are long. To conserve warmth, the Capercaillie fluffs its feathers, creating a thick, insulating layer that traps heat close to its body. On the harshest nights, it performs a remarkable feat, diving headfirst into a soft drift of snow. Hidden beneath the surface, it carves out a small hollow, where the temperature remains far warmer than the frigid air above. In this silent cocoon, the Capercaillie rests, shielded from wind and prying eyes, waking only when dawn paints the sky with pale light. The forest, though frozen, is not without danger. Foxes and martens prowl the undergrowth, their senses finely tuned for any sign of prey. The Capercaillie's best defense is vigilance. It remains still and silent, trusting its camouflage to keep it hidden. When threatened, it may explode from its snowy refuge in a thunder of wings, vanishing into the maze of branches above. Winter is a time of endurance, but also of subtle beauty. In the rare moments when sunlight filters through the trees, frost sparkles on the Capercaillie's plumage, turning each feather into a shard of crystal. The bird moves with quiet purpose, every motion a careful balance between caution and necessity. As the weeks pass and the promise of spring lingers at the horizon, the Capercaillie endures, an emblem of the wild's quiet strength. With each silent night survived, it writes another line in the story of Russia's winter, a tale told without words, in the language of snow, shadow, and survival. Far to the north, where the Russian tundra stretches in a vast, endless sweep of white, A phantom moves silently across the snow. This is the Arctic hare, nature's winter illusionist, whose very existence is an act of vanishing. At first glance, the landscape seems empty, a world sculpted by wind and cold. But look closer. Nestled against a drift, motionless as a snowbank, the Arctic hare waits. Its fur, thick and dazzlingly white, is a perfect mirror of its frozen home. In winter, even the tips of its ears lose their summer blackness, painting the hare into the scenery with a master's touch. Only the glint of dark eyes betrays its presence, watchful, always alert. Survival here is a test of patience and adaptation. The Arctic hare's camouflage is more than a disguise. It's a shield against the keen eyes of predators, lynx, foxes, even snowy owls that patrol the icy plains. When danger draws near, the hare's first defense is stillness. It freezes, trusting its invisibility. But if the silence breaks, a shadow overhead, a scent on the wind, the hare bursts into motion, leaping across the tundra in a blur of speed and snow. Its powerful hind legs launch it over drifts and through icy gusts, while its broad, furry feet act as snowshoes, keeping it light and swift atop the crust. Food is scarce in this frozen expanse, yet the Arctic hare is resourceful. It digs with determined paws, uncovering hidden tufts of moss, lichen, and the woody stems of dwarf willows. Each meal is a triumph, a quiet victory snatched from the jaws of winter. Even in the coldest months, the hare's body is a marvel of efficiency. Its heart beats steady, its blood runs warm, and its coat insulates so completely that snowflakes resting on its back do not melt. As dusk settles over the tundra, the Arctic hare becomes a ghost once more, blending into the gathering twilight. Its tracks, delicate and fleeting, are soon erased by the wind. In this land of extremes the hare endures, not through strength or ferocity, but through the art of disappearance. It is a whisper on the winter wind, a lesson in survival written in white. In the silent ballet of Russia's frozen north, the Arctic hare is both performer and audience, a living memory of snow and secrecy, thriving where only the most adaptable survive. Deep within the frosted forests of Russia, where ancient pines cradle the snow and silence reigns beneath their boughs, another winter survivor stirs, the pine marten. Slender and agile, with a coat the color of burnished honey and a throat patch as white as hoar frost, the pine marten is both shadow and sunlight in the winter woods. As dawn's pale light filters through the needles, the marten awakes in its hidden den, a hollow high in an old spruce lined with moss and feathers. Here warmth is precious, hoarded in the embrace of fir and forest. Hunger draws the marten out, and it moves like a wisp, leaping from branch to snow, barely leaving a mark. With senses sharpened by necessity, the pine marten hunts. It is a master of pursuit, weaving through the undergrowth with fluid grace, its small, keen eyes scanning for signs of life beneath the snow, a twitch of movement, a vole tunneling in the Subnivean maze. The marten pauses, listening, every muscle coiled with intent. Then, in a blur, it plunges headfirst into the powder, vanishing for a heartbeat. When it emerges, it holds its prize, a testament to patience and precision. But the marten's diet is as varied as the forest itself. It scales trunks with effortless agility, raiding bird nests for eggs left unguarded, or feasting on berries and seeds when prey is scarce. Sometimes it follows the winding tracks of squirrels, matching them, leap for leap through the treetops, chasing life where green needles meet snow. Winter is harsh, but the pine marten is resourceful. Its fur thickens to a silken shield, and its bushy tail wraps around its body for warmth at night. It caches food in crevices, a secret larder for leaner days. Each movement is calculated, each risk weighed against the cold's unforgiving bite. In the hush of the forest, the pine marten is both predator and prey, ever wary of the fox's tread or the silent descent of an owl. And yet it thrives, its spirit undimmed by winter's demands. When dusk falls and the sky blushes with northern light, The Marten slips through the shadows, a golden phantom weaving new stories into the snowy silence. In the endless rhythm of Russia's winter, the pine marten is a dancer. Nimble, clever, and endlessly resilient, its tale is written in paw prints and whispered in the wind, a reminder that even in the deepest cold, life persists, quick, wild and wondrous beneath the pines. As daylight fades, and the forest surrenders to the indigo hush of night, a new guardian awakens beneath the snow-laden branches, the Ural owl. With eyes as pale as moonlit ice, and feathers mottled in shades of ghostly silver and ash, this silent hunter blends seamlessly into the wintry gloom of Russia's ancient woodlands. Perched high on a frost-bitten limb, the Ural owl becomes a living statue, broad wings folded close, its round face framed by a halo of downy white. The world is hushed, broken only by the distant sigh of wind through spruce needles and the occasional crackle of settling ice. Yet the owl's senses are attuned to every tremor in the darkness. Its hearing is uncanny, able to pinpoint the faintest rustle, a field mouse tunneling beneath the snow or a vole scurrying in the Subnivean labyrinth. With patience forged by countless winters, the owl waits motionless as the night deepens. Then, in a heartbeat, it launches from its perch, wings outstretched, vast and silent as falling snow. Each feather is edged for quiet, allowing the owl to glide unseen and unheard, a ghost among the trees. Its yellow eyes fix on a patch of disturbed snow, and in one swift, effortless swoop, it plunges down, talons extended like daggers of ivory. Beneath the snow the world is warm and hidden, but even here, the Ural owl's precision is unmatched. It breaks through the crust of ice and emerges with its quarry, a fleeting life surrendered to the cycle of survival. The owl returns to its perch, mantling its meal with wings spread wide, a shadow among shadows. It feeds quickly, then scans the forest once more, ever watchful for rivals or the distant silhouette of a lynx on the prowl. The Ural owl's nights are long and winter is unyielding. Snow piles in drifts around its nesting hollow, but the owl endures, feathers fluffed against the chill, body conserving every precious ounce of warmth. It roosts in the heart of hollow trees, safe from the biting wind, and when dawn threatens to break, it tucks itself into the shadows, invisible to all but the keenest eyes. In the silent ballet of predators and prey, the Ural owl is both patient sentinel and swift executioner. Its call, a deep, resonant hoot, echoes through the night, a haunting lullaby for the sleeping forest. And as stars wheel overhead, the owl keeps its winter vigil, a steadfast spirit in the wild heart of Russia, where the cold is eternal but life, ever resilient, endures. In the endless sweep of Russia's snow-blanketed tundra, where the wind sculpts white dunes and the horizon blurs in a chill haze, a small, unassuming bird becomes a marvel of adaptation, the willow ptarmigan. As autumn's golden light fades and the first snows descend, this clever survivor undergoes a transformation as remarkable as the landscape itself. Once cloaked in mottled browns and russet flecks to vanish among summer's willow thickets and mossy ground, the ptarmigan molts into a new identity. Each feather is replaced not hurriedly but in a patient rhythm attuned to the shifting seasons. Bit by bit, earthy camouflage gives way to pure, immaculate white. By winter's heart, the ptarmigan is a living snowflake, nearly invisible against the drifts, a fragile ghost upon a frozen stage. Daylight is brief and the cold relentless, but the willow ptarmigan is undaunted. With feathered feet that act as natural snowshoes, it pads across the powder, leaving delicate prints that soon vanish in the next gust. Beneath the shelter of snow-laden willow branches, the flock huddles, fluffing their plumage to trap warmth, bright eyes alert for the faintest hint of danger. Their world is one of silence and secrecy. To avoid the searching gaze of foxes, lynxes, and hawks, the ptarmigan rarely strays far from cover. It forages on willow buds and twigs, scraping delicately at the snow's crust to uncover hidden shoots, a meager but vital feast. When storms rage, the ptarmigan burrows into the snow itself, carving out a snug chamber insulated from the biting wind. Here, heartbeats slow and breath clouds the air, the bird cocooned in a winter sanctuary of its own making. But survival is more than camouflage and cunning. As spring's promise lingers on the horizon, the ptarmigan's plumage shifts once again. Patches of brown and grey reappear, blending the bird back into the awakening tundra. This silent metamorphosis is a testament to the ptarmigan's resilience, a quiet triumph in a world ruled by ice and shadow. In the vast, unpeopled wilds of Russia's north, the willow ptarmigan thrives not through strength or speed, but through the ancient art of becoming invisible. Each season, it rewrites its story in feathers and frost, a master of disguise whose greatest defense is the winter itself. Beneath the brittle ice of Russia's winding rivers, where the sun's touch is only a memory, and silence reigns, a strange and secretive creature stirs, the Russian Desman. Neither fully land-dweller nor true fish, this elusive mammal has mastered the art of aquatic survival, weaving its life through the cold currents and shadowy banks that thread the winter landscape. With a body shaped like a velvet torpedo and a snout as supple as a reed, the Desman is built for stealth. Its dense, waterproof fur shimmers in the filtered light, trapping warmth as it glides beneath the frozen surface. Each webbed foot is a paddle, propelling the Desman through icy water with effortless grace. Its wide, flattened tail acts as both rudder and reserve, storing fat to fuel the long, lean months when food is scarce. When the world above is locked in frost, the Desman's realm below remains a sanctuary. It tunnels through the muddy riverbanks, excavating chambers lined with roots and reeds, a fortress hidden from the cold and the ever-watchful eyes of predators. These underwater burrows open into secret entrances just below the ice, allowing the Desman to slip unseen from air to water and back again. Hunting in the liquid darkness, the Desman's sensitive snout becomes its greatest ally. Fanning its whiskers in ever-widening arcs, it detects the faintest ripples of life, an insect larva wriggling in silt, a snail clinging to a pebble, the trembling shadow of a small fish. Each find is a tiny victory, plucked from the quiet hush of the riverbed and devoured in the safety of its den. Yet winter is a gauntlet. Oxygen dwindles beneath the ice, and the Desman must surface through fragile breathing holes, each one a lifeline in the frozen labyrinth. It listens for danger, the muted thud of a distant otter, the silent glide of a pike, and vanishes in a swirl of bubbles at the first sign of threat. Its world is one of patience and vigilance, where each movement is measured, each breath a careful gamble. As snow piles high above, the Desman's life below continues, unseen and uninterrupted. It endures not through strength, but through exquisite adaptation, a marvel of evolution forged in the crucible of Russian winter. In these hidden rivers, the Desman is both phantom and survivor, a silent guardian of the icy deep, whose tale is written in currents and cold, in the darkness beneath the snow. In the deepening silence of Russia's frost-bitten forests, where moonlight turns snow to silver and shadows gather beneath ancient pines, a new presence awakens, the Eurasian eagle owl. With eyes like molten amber and plumage mottled to mirror the bark and bracken, this majestic predator rules the winter night as both phantom and monarch. Perched high on a snow-laden branch, the eagle owl surveys its frozen domain. The cold air is thick with anticipation, every sound magnified beneath the hush of snowfall. Its ear tufts stand tall, catching the faintest whisper of movement, a scuttling vole beneath the crust of snow, the flutter of a distant jay disturbed from its roost. The owl's hearing, honed to pinpoint precision, penetrates the Subnivean world, detecting even the heartbeat of prey hidden beneath layers of ice and earth. With wings wider than a wolf is long, the eagle owl launches itself from its perch. It glides silently, each feather edged for silence, slicing through the night without a whisper. The world below is a tapestry of possibility, Every clearing, every drift, every gnarled root, a stage for the hunt. The owl's gaze locks on a subtle disturbance, a ripple in the snow betraying the secret path of a hare. In a heartbeat, it strikes. Talons, curved and lethal, pierce the snow's surface with surgical precision, seizing its quarry in an explosion of powder. The hunt is swift, merciful, and absolute, each meal a triumph against the relentless cold. The eagle owl's power is matched only by its patience, waiting hours for the perfect moment, conserving energy as the temperatures plunge ever lower. As the night deepens, the owl returns to its solitary roost, prey clutched in its iron grasp. It feeds beneath the shelter of overhanging limbs, eyes ever watchful for rival predators, foxes, martens, or the shadow of a lynx. Each meal is precious, a lifeline through the heart of winter, fueling the great bird's endurance as storms rage and frost gnaws at the world. Yet even in the harshest months, the eagle owl's reign is unchallenged, its haunting call, deep, resonant, echoing through the timber, claims the night as its own. In the endless cycle of hunt and survival, the Eurasian eagle owl is both judge and sovereign, a living legend of Russia's winter wilds. Cloaked in feathers and silence, it endures, a testament to nature's resilience and the indomitable spirit that soars above the snow. Beneath the shroud of endless winter, where the Russian landscape stretches in waves of white, a tiny shape slips through the drifts, almost invisible, almost imagined. This is the stoat, known in its winter guise as the ermine, a creature as elusive as it is enchanting. As autumn's gold fades and the first snows descend, a subtle alchemy begins. The stoat's tawny summer coat, once blending with sunlit grass and fallen leaves, undergoes a miraculous transformation. Day by day, as the nights lengthen and temperatures fall, its fur turns pure white, save for the tip of its tail, a single ink-black flourish against the snow. This metamorphosis is more than camouflage. It is survival itself, a living adaptation honed through endless Russian winters. With its new cloak, the ermine becomes a spirit of the snow. It darts between the roots of ancient birch and pine, weaving through tunnels beneath the drifts, invisible to all but the keenest eye. Every movement is calculated, swift, silent, and sure. The world above is ruled by the owl and the fox, but below the surface the stoat is a master of its own secret realm. Hunger is a constant companion. The ermine hunts tirelessly, driven by a metabolism as fierce as the Arctic winds. It slips into the burrows of voles and mice, its slender body twisting through the narrowest passages. Each hunt is a ballet of patience and precision. A single misstep spells disaster, but a successful strike means life for another day. The winter is harsh, yet the stoat's resilience is legendary. It lines its nest with the fur of its prey, creating a warm refuge beneath roots and snow. Here, in the heart of the storm, it rests, breathing softly, heart beating fast, ever alert for the tremor of danger or the promise of a meal. Above ground, the ermine's white pelt renders it nearly invisible, ghost-like against the frozen world. Predators pass by, their gaze sliding over what appears to be nothing but snow and shadow. Yet the stoat is always watching, always moving, a whisper of life in the heart of winter's silence. As the season deepens, the ermine's story becomes one of constant adaptation, of survival against impossible odds. It is a reminder that even the smallest creature, cloaked in white, can become a phantom, unseen, untouchable, and utterly alive in the wild heart of Russia's winter.